Hello class, this video is a quick video to show you how to bring in images and start to render your elevation drawing here in AutoCAD. So we did this in class. This is kind of review to help you step through it. So you can create here a layer called photo image or images for your drawings, and then in the model space here, I'll go over to the elevation that we used. And so you'll find an image online of a tree or a person and save it to the folder that this file is in. And then you can go to Insert and pick Attach. When you pick Attach, you can then navigate to the folder images and found a different tree. I can then pick open, and here you want to change the path type to no path so that it doesn't look for a long path of where this file is because it's right in the same folder. And I'm just going to go ahead and pick OK, although you can here specify the scale and the insertion point here. I'll pick OK. And then if you pick a point somewhere and pull your mouse here across, you can see that the box is getting bigger. That's actually the image. So if, let's say I click here, there's the image. It's going to hide my house there at first. And I believe that I turned off the image frame. So if you wanted to type in image frame, all one word, image frame, and if you have a 1 in there, it's on, and a 0 is off. So there's my image frame, and it allows me to select it and use these grips to change the size of it. And you can also select it, right click, and go to draw order so that you can send it to the back. See that? Send it to the back or bring it to the front of your image as you start to place them. So now you can move it around and scale it and use draw order to figure out here what you want to actually see. You can also though crop these images. So if I wanted here this tree to be completely behind the house, but I didn't have this solid hatch to cover it, or you wanted to, for instance, crop this person that you brought in and rescaled to the right size, you can go to here, clip, and then select your image. And if you look at your command line here, you're going to press enter to accept new. And then it's up to you. If you want to create a rectangular crop, you can press enter. But if you want it to be more specific, you can type in P for the polygon and enter. And now with here the P entered, you can turn off maybe your object snaps so that you have a little more control. And what you're actually doing is you're creating a crop that goes around your image so that you're creating a closed polygon that is around what you want to keep. So I could get closer and make this a lot more detailed, but for now I'm just showing you this idea. And then if I press enter, you'll see that it crops it out. Now the image frame will go off as soon as I type in image frame and enter, and then type in 0 and enter, and there's the image frame. So I was able to crop it so that it's kind of behind this clear image. Okay, then we have here the hatch, which some of you already know. It's in the Home tab, and then the hatch pattern, once you select it, you have choices of which pattern to use. If you click on the small arrow right here, you'll see a whole menu of different patterns. The AR, the ones that start with AR are already scaled. The other ones you'll have to scale larger. So the one that I have in here right now is an AR, which is this roof shingles. So what we did in class was we placed a solid hatch, but then we actually changed it to something more gradient, one of these, so that it's kind of lighter and gets darker. And this one right here is a choice, either one of these two. And then here you can change the color and go to more colors, and even some of these true colors if you wanted to be more specific to the color. You can do that. You see how it starts to, once you put your pointer into a closed filled space, it starts to show you here the different color. I clicked, but you can still change it here if you wanted to change that to a different color. I know that green would not be what I use, so I would go in and change this color to something a little bit different. Okay, so you can use the gradient also for these windows. That's how I was able to create a window that has that kind of shading that goes from light to dark. If you create a layer called ground and you change the line weight to something bold, like maybe 1, then just know that your line won't show the line weight for this ground line until you come down here and turn on this icon that's called show hide line weight. It's like the 5th one from the right hand side, and you'll be able to see it. It's not a real true print preview, but you'll get an idea of how bold it might be when you print. I also added some shading here by creating a polyline that has a closed shape. So you would start the polyline command, click your 3 corners, and then right click and pick close, and then use the solid hatch here to hatch that area. And you should actually have here a layer called hatch too. Okay, once you have your elevation rendered, and there's more that could be done to this one for sure, you can go over to the tab that's elevation rendering, and I actually made my viewports, I used here the freeze option for the viewport so that I couldn't see that here in the layout space. But you'll need to double click inside here, and then remember what we said down here. You may have to unlock at the bottom right corner, unlock this viewport so that you can set the scale. With this drawing, it would be good to set a scale, but if it works a little bit better to be a little bit bigger or smaller in your print, that would be fine. And then double click out in space once you find a good view for your rendering.